recently you argued, you stated publicly that the EFCC has become a tool in the hands of the government to do their bidding.
Maybe his own hands.
In going after opposition political figures. All that, like Governor Bala Mohammed, Malami, and the rest of them, even Chris Ngige. Immediately they get granted him bail. The next moment was at the villa, where APC were having to play loyalty and all of that. So, is it true? Is it perception, or is there any substance to it that the anti-corruption agencies have become an extension of the campaign strategy of the ruling political?
Let's put it this way. EFCC was born, if I'm not mistaken, in 2004.
Exactly.
Roughly around that period. Yeah. And has had many chairmen, from the current NSA, or the founding chairman, and then to the whole, Farida, the Monde, and the Magu, and the Bawa, and then this one there. If you check the history of EFCC, and the history of interface, interconnectedness of, fight against or war against corruption and economic crimes and political power. You have deep intersections in the past. It's not even a crime of only the ruling party today. When PDP was in power, EFCC wasn't innocent. Let's face it. Yeah. It wasn't not innocent. Either the people in the PDP were rebels, we are gone down, pressure was put on them. And those who want to become rebel in future, place them notice. Then opposition people too, equally had their own share of traumas, and problems, and stress and pressure. So now you have a new EFCC. My only worry is don't messianize your role as a chairman of EFCC. Don't come on television and tell us that you're above board. There's no partisan implication. It may not be overt or direct, but somehow you have an interface as an interconnection or intersect between political power, the search for it, political contestation, and the war against financial crime and corruption. There's no doubt whatsoever. And that's why with regard to that about, he said, I said it was awful for EFCC to single out a sitting governor and then use his name injudiciously. You're not going to try him or prosecute him, but he used it injudiciously in a manner that was just designed for maximum damage. So thing approved by name. That means we're putting it on record for the world to see this man actually be a terror financer when you knew there's no content to that particular issue you are raising, to that particular, the context of these charges completely have no bearing in history on record, but it needed the name to appear. Even EFCC cannot even prosecute terror financing. He can't. Yeah. It took Buhari 8 years, couldn't publish the list. What I make the presidency 2.5 years, can't publish the list of those financing terror. 10 years and a half. Then 1 week, when a judge demanded of you to produce somebody in court, then he manufactured it to simply say, we can't release them now because of terrorist financing. That's just the gamble. That's tried by media. He can smuggle in certain things to the court and say, hold somebody with this. When we are ready for a better charge, we can withdraw the earlier one. That's not the way you go about this kind of business. But as I said, common sense, I'm sure, may have to prevail. The chairman of EFCC need to focus more, in a clinical, forensic approach to managing this issue of war against corruption and crime, and leave those sensitive political decisions that could give the wrong signal to intent or motive why such things are being done. If you do that, and again, I'm mindful of the fact that the timetable is against EFCC and the government. It happens everywhere, even in the US. Why is Donald Trump going after banks and other entities? Because he said, you are weaponizing financial institutions against me because of my politics. So he said, if I won a case in social place, the one the charges against him, the one in Atlanta, the one in New York, the one in Florida, a time will come when the prosecution will hands off and say, we can no longer prosecute this matter because of the political implication. A time will come, that's why Donald Trump in 2023 or 24 declared for the presidency. He had multiple issues on his neck. But declaring means if I win the primary election, the judicial system will back off and say, to go further on me is politicizing the coming election. They're giving advantage to the Democratic Party candidate in waiting. That's why today, EFCC can no longer meaningfully intervene in the politics of the now, because to do so will be to pick opposition governor today will simply be to service the interests of the ruling party. That's the way it is designed. It, again, not constitutionalized, but you know that the timetable is upon us. If INEC now unfold the timetable and you pick up a governor or a leading figure in the position, people will cry blue more than say, you are doing it because you want to do what? Embarrass them morally, diminish their standing, their uprightness, and their ethical contours ahead of the coming election. So I suspect that EFCC should be guided in this regard. There are many other things the EFCC can be doing. Many fraudsters could be chasing. Many people have violated, the laws of finance and accounting and so on there. The corporate players there, their bankers and so on. Focus on that now. Leave this political terrain for now. I'm not saying don't leave it for life. For now, because the transition is upon us. Any move you make will attract vicious counter response from the other side. And as that is what it should be, given the circumstance of now.
Some counter argument. I hear you, and I'm sure our viewers and listeners also hear you. And EFCC definitely is listening. Particularly, and I agree with you that the EFCC does not have the backing of the law to prosecute terrorism charges. That's the DSS. But the counter argument, like I said, the fact that someone has a clear intention to vie for political office. Of course, I'm not talking about Bala Mohammed, sitting governor, has immunity. You can investigate. The Constitution says you can investigate quietly, discreetly.
Don't dramatize it.
Exactly. Don't embarrass
Don't embarrass it.
and all of that. Yes. But you can investigate. And when he leaves office, you can prosecute it. But Malami's case is different. Do we now say, if I hear you very well, do we now say because a high-profile, person has declared intention to vie for political office, yet there is prima facie evidence of large-scale, colossal, stealing, looting of our public resources. Do we now say because of that, the anti-corruption agency does not, hold on, sir, do not do their job? Mind you, once this guy is allowed, because we say we don't want to draw the eye of the public, now this guy gets contest and wins, he has immunity for at least 8 years. What do you say to this, sir?
I said, EFCC have to do its job, but they do it mindful of the political environment. Okay. It is not what I, as Udenta is saying. It is what is going to be deposited out there. Well, in this case, it's not even for me a clear court case of political interference. He's a private citizen. He may have become interested to contest for something or not contest for something. And the time they went after him was last year, late last year. That's good enough time to continue what you're doing. But at the end of the day, you're not going to rush a trial. Let's put it this way. You grab a Malami, keep him there for 2 weeks. Release him. EFCC pick him. A DSS picked him. Maybe another 1 month. They have to release him. He's a bailable offense. He's not a murder, not a capital offense. You release him. He has a team of lawyers, maybe 35 sons and another 55 other solid lawyers, making almost 80. There are many courts to go to. Get injunction here, get another one there, about 30 injunctions up to Supreme Court. He has enough time to come out and contest his election. But it's part of whatever EFCC does. He can't keep him in detention in perpetuity. That's against the law. And the moment he comes out, he's an innocent man until proven guilty. That's my point. He's innocent until he's proven guilty. No matter how the scale of investigation or depositing out things in the public and revelations about whether he was acquired, he's still innocent. That's what the law says. So, however you even do it, he can't even succeed because he can't keep a man in detention. If you pick up somebody in July who's already a candidate of another party for governorship, at most 1 week or 3 weeks, you release him. You are making his day for him. That's why they pick me up. I'm a candidate. I'm going to be the governor. Who is APC? They know that very well. They know I'm innocent. They are just coming after me to destroy my career. You whip up public sentiment even. So the law doesn't hurry. The windmills of the gods grind slowly, but they grind exceedingly well. Vengeance in law may be dish eating when it is very cold. Don't over dramatize this and grab him or her, especially when the opposition party people in an election season. If you do so, you are creating enormous crisis for crisis of judgment and governance, crisis of conscience, crisis of morality and ethics around the neck of EFCC.
When I have this conversation with intellectuals, high, caliber intellectuals such as yourself, these are some of the dilemma I face because you glamorize, glamorize intellect, which is beautiful. But this our environment, Dasuki Fama Enese was kept in detention for years by former President Buhari, damning several court verdicts. Nnamdi Kanu was released by a certain court and all of that. The government refused to release it.
I understand.
So, and I could give you several other cases, but I don't want us to dwell on that. Let's make progress.
You can do that. You see, it's always somebody Dasuki. But Mustafa.
Absolutely.
Okay,
now,
there are many things that go beyond EFCC. If you look at the issue of Dasuki, I don't think it was EFCC. It's more of DSS.
Yeah, exactly.
That means when it deals with national security,
Exactly.
they don't put it that you stole money. Really, national security that can have so many leverages with which they can put you away for long. Even what the court says, they can keep on telling another court. It's a state risk to risk the survival of the Nigerian state. Look at the position he had. This one was CSO, exactly. This one was NSA to Jonathan. As absurd as it is, this one is the leader of a Biafran redentist resistance movement. Be careful, the courts. Be careful what you do. The country is under the verge of collapse because of the entities like this. I know it is wrong, it is awful, it is detestable, but they can manage it. But it's a pure case of EFCC and money hunting. They can't do it.